All right, everybody, it's the Arty 84 show live here in quarantine, week 18 or 19, can't keep track. It's a lot of weeks from our designated areas. It's episode 140. As always, below me, we have Adam DeMallet. And to my left, I guess, we have Ryan Glover. And Ryan, we have a special guest tonight here for the show. You want to bring him in?
Of course, tonight we have Hampton's Dave.
Yeah.
You may know him from The Ryan Show. He's the co-founder and host, which was launched in 2015 out of Yama-Q Restaurant in Bridgehampton, New York.
Been going for a long time. Started as a little podcast. And me and Ryan, we built it. We're on, I think, 170 stations around the world right now, syndicated. We just got on a station in Nigeria. So shout out to the FM station in Nigeria. That puts my beautiful voice out there for everybody to listen to.
That's pretty cool. I mean, so you started off as a podcast. You were doing it in a restaurant, just recording once a week, right? Just comedy.
Yep.
Just bullshit.
Just kind of sat down. Yeah, just kind of like a sit down bullshit. Our friends would stop in. Anybody that wanted to sit in with us, we'd let them sit in. And then it got to the point where people started to like come and just watch.
Yeah.
So we turned it into like a live show. Ryan, my partner, he's a psycho. So anything that he tries anything. So we would start doing live shows, and we turned it into like a variety show where we have like stand-up comedians and live performances.
Yep.
Mixed in with interviews at a bar where we'd have, anything set up. Anything you could imagine. It was like a black market. You never know what you're gonna find. Tables set up with weed, edibles.
Nice. And perks. Keep the show.
Yeah.
So basically, you guys were just hanging out. You're doing a podcast. You found a place a restaurant that would let you do it, right, in the Bronx. Were you in the Bronx when you do it? The Hamptons, or where was it?
No, we were out in the Hamptons. It was actually one of our good friends owns a sushi restaurant out there.
Okay.
And me and Ryan both used to work at restaurants in the surrounding area in Bridgehampton. And I got out one night of work, and I was, I had a couple of drinks at work, and I saw him recording, and I said, you know what, I've known Ryan. Me and Ryan have known each other since kindergarten. We played Little League together, and we always had good banter. Like when we were playing Little League, he was the shortstop. I was the shortstop. He was the second baseman. But we would just make fun of the other team, and like that banter, it was like, why not just sit down with him, see how it goes?
Yeah. And
we recorded the first time, and we clicked, and kind of just started it from there. And now we're at the madness we're at now.
That's pretty cool. I mean, because then you start recording, and then I was reading so you guys decided to bring it into the city, right? So where did you start recording in the city?
We actually started recording at this bar, Stone Creek Inn in Gramercy, part of Manhattan, and it was it's kind of just trial by error. We're doing everything off the fly. I mean, we didn't really know the owner of the bar too well. He didn't know the crowd that we were bringing in.
Yep.
You may look at me and Ryan, and we're two little white guys, but it's a very heavily hip hop oriented crowd.
Yeah.
So I don't think the owner of the bar knew what was going to be in store for him.
That was the demographic that he was used to getting once you guys started rolling?
Yes.
Right.
Shout out to our other co-host, Mr. Cheeks. I don't know if you're familiar with the Lost Boys or Mr. Cheeks. He has the song Lights, Camera, Action. So he'd bring out, his fans would come out, his whole team would come out, and it's pretty exciting times sometimes. I don't think the owner of that bar didn't really like it too well. We only lasted about 2 months there, and then we took it out to Queens. We found a spot in Jamaica, Queens, right on Jamaica Ave, and that was a little more up to speed. I think with the show that we were putting out, but not like it was crazy. It was just more or less the people that would go, because we'd always get some kind of rapper or athlete or someone from Mr. Cheeks. His phone book is endless. People, if he just calls someone, you never know who's gonna come out.
Yeah.
So we got some pretty interesting guests to come out, sit down, and it would always turn into a party. It would start out as like a serious interview, and then it would just turn into just like a nuts party.
So
Ryan, you were there, right?
Yeah. I went to the Tavern Lounge. The guest that night was Grandmaster Caz.
Yeah, Grandmaster Caz.
Freeway Ricky Ross and stuff, everything excellent. And I came like a couple other nights, just like amazing fun. Like you never know what you're gonna see like midgets, girls, like it's like it's insane.
Ryan's told I always make fun of my friend Ryan, the co-host. He always tries to bring a midget around so he could look tall.
That's a good idea. So how'd you get set up with Mr. Cheeks? So how did that happen? So you and Ryan are doing a show, and all of a sudden you go to the city. Then Mr. Cheeks comes in. So how did you get involved with Mr. Cheeks?
So Ryan, there was a portion. I moved to the city first, and Ryan kept the show going out in the Hamptons for I'd say 3 or 4 months.
Okay.
And he did a benefit. I think it was a benefit for Hurricane Sandy, like Puerto Rico relief. Some kind of Hurricane Sandy benefit he did out in Montauk. And he got a bunch of rappers, and he got Mr. Cheeks to be, one of the guests, and it just hit it off. So we went out one night, and we knew Cheeks was performing. So we went to go see him, and we kind of just, throwing it out there, like, we're going to move it into the city. Do you want to be a host on the show? And he was all about it, and we kind of just clicked right off the bat. Nice. Kind of all have the same, vices, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
And loved the
extracurricular activities, right?
Yeah. So we kind of hit it off, and then my friend Ryan, I call him the mad scientist. He puts everything together. I kind of just am there, tell him I'm the looks of the show. He does all the work, and I just come and smile and reap all the benefits.
There you go.
No.
Bringing the ladies, right?
I'm sure
with rappers come ladies, and times, and it's awesome.
And Cheeks just loved it, and right off the bat, from the first time we did the show, kind of just clicked, and it's just gone from there.
Yeah.
And then we stopped doing the live shows. With the territory that we were in, there's some instances that happen. Some things happen, events happen at the bar. Not the night we were there, but some things happen and the bar shut down. We could say, we'll stay for that.
So we'll go and say it wasn't the nicest part of town, right?
Yes, it was not the nicest part of town. So I would bring my friends from the Hamptons would come up and try to go, and they'd be like, "Where the hell are you taking me?"
Damn.
Jamaica, Queens, it's beautiful this time of year.
Oh yeah.
But no. So that the bar closed down, and we were kind of in limbo looking for a spot. And right when that happened, the station 98.1, the Urban Heat in Boston, reached out and asked if we wanted to, join their station and put our show there. So we kind of turned it rather from a variety show to we started focusing on FM radio. Okay. And then we're doing that. I guess it's been like a year and a half now.
Damn.
We've been doing that for there. And then Ryan we just syndicated ourselves. He just get on Instagram and just reach out to everybody, see if they want to take it. And then people just start taking it, hear about word of mouth. Stations start reaching out to us. And now with the pandemic, I mean, it kind of just fell right into Skype, and all this worked perfectly. So now we just do it through Skype. And I feel like we've gotten better guests because nobody has to come to the studio. We can just get everybody on Skype. They can be in their house. We've had some pretty good guests so far doing it like that, and it's just worked out perfectly for the show. Yeah. Actually, not to say that a pandemic is good, huh? But.
I know, right?
Adam, were you going to say something?
Yeah, no, I was listening to one of your shows earlier, very briefly, before my computer started being stupid, and you were talking about how you overdosed on 2,500 milligrams of THC.
Yes, that's so, Ryan. That kid, I've never seen anybody intake more THC than him in his life. I picked him up from a party. There's a lot of parties in New York City, like underground weed parties, where just people set up tables. It's almost like a flea market of weed vendors. And he ate this one. I think he had to take at least, I think it was like an 1,800 milligram brownie or something that he ate. And I picked him up later in the night, and he walked out. It looked like he was dragging his head on the ground. He's not very tall to begin with, and he's got a big head. So it was like his head was leaning over. His eyes were like glued shut.
He's on the fucking moon. He's gone.
Yeah.
3 days later, he woke up. And he was like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, he wakes up like 3 days later. He's like, how the hell did I get here?
That was a good night then. I mean, shit.
Yeah, it was a good night.
So underground, like weed flea market. So now I don't know. I'm not familiar with New York. Is it legalized in New York State? Are there stores you can go?
I mean, it might as well be.
So okay, so there isn't.
It's not
okay.
legal. It's decriminalized. But I mean,
Gotcha.
you could walk anywhere in New York City and you can't go 2 or 3 blocks without smelling someone smoking weed.
Oh, absolutely. So these underground flea markets sound like a pretty cool idea that will be eliminated as soon as they legalize it, because the people
they're getting eliminated. They still get ran up in you're taking your chances going there. Cops still hear about them. I don't hear about as many going on right now, especially with the COVID, but there was a lot going on. It was like the last year, that was like the thing. They call them sessions, and there'd be people that would throw them, and there's a bunch of different, they call them vendors. I mean, it's just a glorified way to say drug dealer. Edibles that they made, and I loved it. I was like in heaven.
So it's like a underground swingers party for like the smoke.
Pretty much.
You get a web. You get an email.
There's probably you get an email. You gotta have a code.
Yeah,
you go to the door.
Yeah. Password. You
it's
walk
like
in.
A big orgy.
During the day it's a meat market. It's like Goodfellas, right? During the day it's at night all of a sudden it looks like a nightclub, and there's DJs and shit, and fucking.
It's like I don't know if you watch Seinfeld. It's like Seinfeld where.
Yes, the meat market episode where the nightclub was.
Yep, and he has that's when he finds the picture of the model or whatever, and he's saying that was his girlfriend.
That's right.
And then he goes the next day, he tries to bring Jerry, and it's an actual meat market.
That's right. I think that's probably where I got that idea from. That actually makes sense. Yeah. So you're a New Yorker from Hart. I'm assuming born and raised in the Hamptons. That's kind of now a lot of people don't live in the Hamptons. Like when I think of the Hamptons, I think of like New Yorkers going out there on vacation. Like it's weird because I think of Cape Cod, the same exact thing. And Massachusetts, you don't think people live there, but people actually live there all year round, just like the Hamptons. So what's it like out there in the off season? Like,
it's so slow. It dies down. It's like a ghost town. Yeah. My family's been out there since like the 30s, I think. My family's been, they moved out there, but it's blue collar. Like if you live out there, you're not living that luxurious Hamptons life. It's very blue collar. The people that live out there are the people that, work on all the houses, all the mansions. They're the tradesmen, I guess you could say.
Okay.
But I mean, I reap the benefits. It's all about who you know. The right people. You can get into the right, parties. That's why me and Ryan, we have the running joke. I'm a socialite.
Yeah.
Because I could schmooze my way into any party when I was living out there. So I've had a lot of good events, meeting people, partying.
Well, that's half of it, right? It's about who you know.
Yep. Smoking joints with Mike Tyson. A lot of crazy run-ins like that just come off. You never know what's gonna happen. You run into one person that says, "Yeah, let's go over here. I heard someone's having a party."
Yeah.
Next thing you know.
So Bravo, I think it's Bravo, does this show called Beach House or something like that out there in Hamptons, and it's like all like the celebrities from Bravo, and they have these like people. Have you ever crashed one of those parties? Have you ever gone to some of those?
No, we probably tried to raid that party or tried to throw eggs at those parties. We don't like the glorify of the TV shows and everything out there.
Gotcha. You like the low key parties of
the hidden ones, the one like the underground weed parties in the city.
Yeah, he's taking out the Hamptons and something. Those are the best ones.
Speaking of Mike Tyson, I was reading he smokes like something like $100,000 worth of weed like a month. I'm like, that's insane. How the hell? That's crazy.
That's how he made his comeback now. He's a big, proponent of weed. I think he has a big company out in California. They have their own grow op and everything. And,
that's how he probably is. Yeah.
I think that's how he got. He got back in shape. When I met him, he was still turning up. It was when he was really fat, and he had just got arrested. Like right after that he was
doughy,
lit. I actually met him on a yacht. I was working at a pizza place out there, and this is the type of stories that I mean. I was working at a pizza place, and my boss was like, "Come with me. We got to deliver these pizzas." And we brought him out to a yacht, like Sag Harbor has a wharf, and these yachts parked there. He's like, "Yeah, we're going to just deliver pizzas," and he didn't tell me. And we go into the yacht, and we bring the pizzas, and Mike Tyson's there.
Oh, shit.
And he's just lit. And he pulled out a joint. We were chilling. We smoothed our way in, and we started chilling. Next thing you know, we're there for like 2.5 hours. He's like got my boss by the, he's like grabbing him and he's got his arm around him.
Yeah.
"I love you, Frank." He was all, it was funny. But he was a good guy.
You guys were like the guys that delivered the pizza to Jordan. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That whole game 6.
But we didn't. Yeah, I
we
wouldn't
didn't do anything to it though.
Yeah, 7 guys delivering 1 pizza.
Yeah, it's good pizza. Good pizza.
Yeah. Whatever.
So,
It made a legendary game for Jordan.
Oh shit, huh? So I'm assuming you are obviously. I'm going to go on a limb here. I see the Brooklyn Nets.
I'm a
Nets, right?
I'm a Nets fan.
Okay.
I'm a Brooklyn Nets fan now, but I'm a Nets fan. I've gone through every bad time the Nets have had. I've been a Nets fan my whole life.
Back in New Jersey, Jason Kidd, mid-90s.
Yep.
That was a good team they had out there, though. Of course, they were. I mean, the Nets are ABA, original.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They are the original. Dr. J.
Yep.
Nassau. They originated. They were in Nassau County. They played at the Coliseum, where the Islanders used to play. And that's where Dr. J played.
So Nassau Coliseum. I've heard horror stories. So you an Island you Islanders hockey fan, obviously, right? Because
no, my favorite part about hockey is when they have the lockout. I just never got into the sport. I'm not. Everybody says it's the best sport to see live. My dad enjoys it. So I say you got to go see it live. I'll pass.
Well, I don't think you're missing anything back in the day. I heard the Coliseum was a shithole anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, that was the only reason I'd probably be a fan of the Islanders is that they just kept such a shitty stadium.
Yeah.
And, just the things that happened to them. They had they had that owner that tried to buy him, and he had no money. He faked everything, forged everything. That's just so typical Islanders.
Sounds like the situation with the Mets with Bernie Madoff.
I was just gonna say, yep,
yeah. That's the reason why Bobby Bonilla has that contract.
We were just talking about him a couple weeks ago. Bobby Bonilla. I mean, do you know Bobby? He has a World Series championship, by the way. Did you guys know that? He was on the 97 Marlins. He was on.
Still getting paid. Right. What a good contract, though.
Oh, he's like, listen, well, I'm not going to pay you for 10 years. But after 10 years is up, you're going to get $1 million plus interest of $1.3 million for the next 20 years.
Yeah, it's like 26 or 27 years.
Sure, I'll take that. Don't worry about it. I'll figure out what to do for 10 years.
Classic Mets. It's just so classic Mets to do that.
I'm assuming you're a Yankees fan, though, right? Because you got to be a Yankees fan. I mean,
I am a very big Yankees fan.
There's a small population that admits they're Mets fans. You know what I mean? It's usually only when they're doing good, too. They're like
the worst type of fan base. I hate Met fans almost as much as I dislike Red Sox fans.
That's a strong. Yeah. You must love when the Sox fans come to the Queens to go see a Sox Mets game every year.
I love that. I actually enjoy that because I love all the confrontation. I went to Boston 2 years ago. I just woke up and drove to go see one of the games. Yeah. And they got rained out. And I was on my own just walking through Boston. I actually had a blast. That was all my Yankee gear and nobody wasn't. Everybody was loving it. I'm a friendly guy. I had a good time. I met a bunch of other drunk Red Sox fans and some Yankee fans. And
I mean, wearing a Yankees uniform.
Very walkable city.
It is.
Yeah. Yep.
You can pick up a few Boston girls who hate their dads, who are diehard Red Sox fans, and you're a Yankees fan. You can clean up really, really easily. I think
I do my best work with those types.
You prey on them, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, just something came up my Facebook memory from it was 12 years ago today. I was at old Yankee Stadium for the Home Run Derby.
Josh Hamilton.
That was
Josh Hamilton put on a show that night.
It was like a laser show out there. I mean, I remember that day.
Yeah.
I got so I was in college at the time in Boston. So I went online and all of a sudden Yankee Stadium was releasing day of game tickets for face value, $80 to go. So I was like, shit. I'm like, all right, game's at 8:00. It's 11 o'clock here. How do I get there? So I jumped on a JetBlue flight. At the time, JetBlue was doing like $50 flights to New York City from Boston, whatever that. So I dropped everything, went to Logan Airport, jumped on a plane, landed in JFK, took all the trains all the way from fucking was it Jamaica, Queens, wherever the JFK is, all the way to fucking, the Bronx. And then when I got there, I went to the game. Then I didn't know how to get home. I only took a one-way ticket. So I went to my favorite place in the entire universe, the Port Authority, at the bus terminal. And that place is on a Tuesday night at 1:00 in the morning is it's better than anything, right?
You can see anything you want. That's how Penn Station is like that. Coming from Long Island, we take the train into Penn Station, but you could see anything that you'd ever want to see at Penn Station.
I mean, there was this is what 12 years ago. So this is when 8th Ave was like all the peep shows and all like the porn shops were still there before they knocked them all down. So I mean, you looking down the street for miles, you just see these bright lights just flashing and all this shit. So I'm like walking around. I'm like, what the fuck? There's hookers on the corner. There's drug dealers over there. I'm like, and you're a block away from Times Square at this point too, right? There's families, right, going to the M&M store. And here is some, business guy is late at work picking up a hooker in front of the Dwayne Reed, whatever the fucking place is,
That's like a good old hooker from Dwayne Reed.
Classic New York. If your mayor continues the way he's doing, New York's going to be back to the way it was in the 80s. It's going to be great.
Let's bring it. Yeah, it's I'll tell you, it's pretty exciting. We're in Brooklyn right now. They like got rid of all the so like anything. I don't know if I cut off or if I froze there.
Yeah.
But
you said it's exciting in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it's getting exciting, but especially with all the fireworks. I don't know if you saw the news with all the fireworks and everything going on. It's crazy. Every night was like the 4th of July for like months straight, 2 months straight. It was like they robbed the Macy's fireworks, and people had you'll be on the side of the street. People have getting dark. To move into another room. Sorry.
It's the sun setting in the Hamptons,
Yeah, the sun was setting. We got it back. But like we're talking real full-on fireworks shows going on right on the side of the street. Nobody's a real pyrotechnician, so as you can see, you're seeing a lot of. Saw a good video on Instagram. Someone lit the whole first floor of a building on fire the other day.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, nice.
Didn't even know Everybody was so lit and partying, they didn't even see it until it's flames just flying out the window.
I mean, the last thing you want to do is set off fireworks in a heavily densely populated area. You know what I mean? That seems like a combination. And it's the fact that all these cities and all these buildings in New York are so old, they're not all up to fire standards.
No.
You're a sparkler away from causing a block to go off. You know what I mean? It's like, that's some ballsy shit right there. You got the bust open the fire hydrant, they're like the old.
True, yeah, right. that was probably going on too, but that's the beach.
Mm-hmm.
Open the fire hydrant. You got a nice day at the beach.
Me and my wife made the mistake a couple of years ago. We went to New York City on 4th of July just for the day, and I always wanted to ride the Cyclone in Coney Island. So I'm so fucking retarded. I was like, all right, let's go to So we took the little tram out to Roosevelt Island. We grabbed some lunch, right? And we're hanging there. We're gonna head to Coney Island to go ride the Cyclone. And I'm sitting on watching the TV. I'm like, oh, the hot dog eating contest is going on, right? Totally forgot about it. So we waited till the hot dog contest was over, jumped on the train, took it to Coney Island, and then we get there and you couldn't move. There was a million fucking people there. After that thing, you got out of the train, it was like a wall of people. So we make our way to like the boardwalk and we look at the beach. You cannot see sand. There is no sand. There's so many people on the beach. It just covers every square inch of it. It's like, holy shit. I'm like, damn, New Yorkers really come out on the 4th of July for a good time on Coney Island, I guess, and stay there all day. It was crazy.
All day.
Crazy.
Joey Chestnut was putting on a show probably at the hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, I think he won again that year.
Joey Chestnut.
It's a true New Yorker.
Is he a New Yorker? Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. He beat whatever Kobayashi or whatever that guy's name was.
Kobayashi. Definitely not a New Yorker. I want to go on a limb. No. I don't think that he has the accent that fits the New York accent right there. So.
Koreatown,
yeah. All right, so we're gonna do a little thing here. I just downloaded this app and I put up looks like 7-8 topics on this app, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'll spin the app, and then whatever topic comes up, we'll discuss. And if we don't, then we'll spin it again. Sound good? So it's of course it's gonna crash you. If you guys can see it there on Facebook land, it's blinking, it's coloring up. Let's see.
I can't see any.
I know. All right. Ugly Anna. Do you guys know who Ugly Anna is?
I was just with her last night. No. I don't know who Ugly Anna is, but I'd like to meet her. Sounds easy.
Ryan and Adam, do you know who Ugly Anna is? Ugly Anna is a Puerto Rican, or I think Mexican.
I
Googling her?
Isn't she the one that got invited into the bubble?
Yes, she's bumping the bubble. She's the one who supposedly got invited into the NBA bubble. So I started doing some internet research on her, and she has an Instagram, 21,000 followers, but she doesn't follow anyone. And she still requires one to subscribe, be requested to follow her. So, but she answers the request quite fast. So in a matter of 5 minutes, I was now following Ugly Anna. And I really want to get into the depth of this girl. She says she's a video gamer. She says she's she's very awkward. Judging by her pictures, I would not say she was awkward.
Yeah, I'm sure she is.
Yeah.
Very provocative.
I know, right?
So it had come out that she was invited by an NBA player to penetrate the bubble, if you will. And no pun intended.
Yeah.
And she, I guess she didn't say who the NBA player was. And I guess no one really knows. For all we know, it was just bullshit. And now we're talking about Ugly Anna.
But someone snitched, right? Didn't someone see it and called the hotline?
Yeah, exactly. So there's a hotline. It's fucking ridiculous. So the center of the Sacramento Kings forgot there was a bubble, I guess. And he went out for some Chick-fil-A. And he comes
went
back.
to go get DoorDash. Yeah.
He comes walking through the fucking lobby with his food. And whoever's in charge of the bubble officer, if you will, was like, what the fuck you doing? And I was about to get some fast food. He's like, you can't penetrate the bubble. You penetrated the bubble. So now he has to go sit in a fucking hotel room for 14 days by himself.
Oh yeah, Arty. She looks real awkward. If you go to her Twitter account, her pinned tweet is her showing her like ass jiggling and her boobs cleavage hanging out.
Yes.
Love that. She's got a fan
Real
of me.
awkward.
I mean, she's not bad looking. I'm gonna put it.
I'd invite her into my bubble.
And I would love to know how much truth goes on, if she has any actual relationship with any NBA players, or maybe she's the where is she based? Does it say where she's LA, right? It says she's LA. I think her profile said she's it's an LA girl or something like that. But
yeah, Los Angeles, City of Angels, yep.
City of Angels. Just maybe when when like the Celtics come to town, she's the go girl for NBA players. You know? And I always thought this was the truth. And years ago, me and my old co-host got a chance to fly on the Celtics private jet to a away game with the team.
Oh.
So we went from Boston to Charlotte, and we didn't get to the hotel till like 3:00 in the morning, and nothing was open in Charlotte. And we walk into the hotel, and we go out real quick for a smoke, and we see NBA players for the Celtics jumping into cars and stuff. There she is. This is Ugly Anna right there. She's fabulous. Look at that. Nothing awkward about that.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
Booty bouncing.
There you go.
How old do you think she is? She looks. She doesn't look illegal, but she looks like she's like young 20s maybe.
Old enough to party.
Yeah.
It looks like she's. I don't know what she looks like a mix-up. She looks like kind of like Egyptian and like black and Hispanic and like The Rock made her or something.
Yeah,
like Dwayne Johnson made her. I don't.
She has the Mexican flag on her Instagram profile, so I'm gonna go on a limb and say that's probably what she's possibly at. But maybe she's like Mariah Carey. That's the perfect mix.
I don't think she's gonna age very well. Like she's young and all, like she can pull this off, but that's gonna pop like a tick when she's like 40 and 30.
I'm down. I'll take the ride. I'll take the ride to see.
Right now I would.
We may not get Ugly Anna now, but in 10 years, we may get Ugly Anna. And in 20 years, Ugly Anna might actually be ugly.
We might.
It's only a matter of time.
I see the future of how they look, how they're going to look.
Yeah.
Like I see deep into the future. And her future, crystal ball, look not so good.
So you're a man who goes into the investment later on in life. You know what I mean? It's like buying an antique car, if you will, instead of, you had to be in if you were there like 10 years ago, right? With the Ugly Anna investment, you'd be like, living high. You'd be like the Amazon stock back in like, in the 90s, Like I know a lot of guys like that, right? They get these girls who have potential, right? They meet them in high school, and then like college comes around, and like they're starting to come out of their shell. They're like late bloomers, but these guys get locked in. Next thing you know, they're getting them pregnant, right? And next thing you know, by the time they're hot at like 22 years old, they already get a baby with her. They already get a commitment with her. They're living large right there, and they're using that as like like a mortgage, right? They can take out a home equity loan on that, if anything ever goes bad. Yeah, look, gotta look like it's a business.
Gotta refinance.
Yeah, you gotta
diversify those bonds.
That's right. So Ugly Anna. All right, let's see who else the wheel of fun has for us there. Ugly Anna. We'll see if she's around next week. All right, what do we have?
I'm gonna try to get it. I'm gonna slide in that DM right after this interview.
Damn, there you go. All right, it says all right, Siesta Keys. It's
like a Laguna Beach show on MTV, right?
Yeah, Dave, you familiar with that? So it's basically.
I don't know much about it, but I saw a commercial that like nobody. It's like a bad version of Laguna Beach or
Yeah.
something like that,
It's
or Jersey Shore.
It's more so it's Laguna Beach in the sense where it's a bunch of rich kids who don't have to work, who have all these dreams and all this fun living. It's like isolated area in Florida, right? It's a combination of like Alabama Jersey Shore show where like you get some really trashy like Floridians kind of mixed into it as well, and it does have the Jersey Shore flair where there's a lot of partying and drinking and all that stuff. So we actually reached out, and hopefully maybe we can get him on the show. Is a character named Alex is on the show, and this guy is a real fuck up. He has on the show. He appeals to be a very hated character, whether he is or not. We're going to give him an opportunity to give his side of the story, because I'm curious what he's really like and see if MTV is really portraying him to be the proper person. Now, mind you, his father is an executive producer.
Feeling me and him are going to get along. So
I think you guys would be best. So he got in a little trouble lately. Apparently someone, the cancel, what were we calling these people? The cancelers? What's it called? The cancel nation, people who want to cancel, the cancelers. You know what I'm talking about, right? People just want to cancel everything.
Cancel culture or something cancel like that. Like,
so some of the cancel culture went deep into this guy's Twitter and found some not nice things he said regarding using the N-word on a tweet or something like that. And then the MTV just went out there, and basically the show's still on the air, so they had to go back and cancel and like rewrite or re-edit the rest of the show for the next like 3 or 4 years. And they never ever said what the context was. And no one gave him the chance to even apologize, or if he didn't want to apologize, or what was the situation. So they pretty much just wrote him away, which is very ironic because his character on the show is an actual main pivot point, because he just got his girlfriend pregnant and they're all talking about the baby coming. So I don't know if you guys were familiar with any of this or had any point on this or any opinion.
I knew the name of the show.
That's about it. So that's something, right? How about you, Brian?
Arty too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, I
was gonna say, did you say too? He said, "Oh, sorry, I can't." Sorry, talk. My bad.
Adam first. You go, Adam. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, didn't you say too, Arty, that he said he put those tweets out there like half a decade ago?
Yeah, I think it was way before the show was on the air, I believe.
Yeah. So I fucking hate that. I hate that. There needs to be like an expiration date. Like if it's within like a week or two, then like but like I hate when people dig. Like 10, like people have nothing fucking better to do. Like 10 years back, and then they get all in an uproar about it, trying to make them apologize. It's stupid.
Here's the thing: if you think you're gonna become famous, or you're in the crest of becoming famous, or any, people are gonna actually anything you do is gonna affect your career in the later, delete your fucking Twitter and start from scratch. Yeah. I mean, because if you're going to become famous, the 1,000 followers or you have right now aren't going to matter when you go and redo another one, because you make that shit disappear. I mean,
one of the things and stuff, everything, like when you would send me over the information and stuff, everything, I started researching them. I thought when we first started doing social media, I don't think people were really cognizant that people were going to go back 10 years later about something you tweeted and stuff and everything. You were really just kind of joking with your friends and things and stuff that you would say, even if they weren't appropriate. And, I've been doxxed before and stuff and everything where people have brought up things and stuff and everything I didn't really intend, for them to see online and stuff and everything. So I think anything can be taken out of context and made to look worse than it is. And I think as far as the context, obviously his tweets were inappropriate and there's no justification for it, but people do grow. And it looks like from his Instagram that he has grown and changed as a person. And I think that should be taken into consideration as well. Before you kick somebody off a show, and people have freedom of speech too. So
just imagine if we were judged on everything we did when we were 21 years old. Just think of that. That was the timestamp of your life, right? 21. This is going to be your reputation for the rest of your life. You know what I mean? I mean,
true.
No one I would think the majority of people would be in rough shape. You know what I mean? rough shape. You know what I mean?
Man, me at 21, I was living the life.
Oh, I'm sure. You're City 21. I mean, you fucking can do whatever you want. I mean, the world's your oyster.
Yep.
Fucked up.
Adam,
well, you see, with what happened with that guy Alex or whatever, you saw what happened to Nick Cannon, right?
Well, he's on the wheel.
Okay, all right.
All right, we'll spin the wheel. If we'll do one more, and if we don't get Nick Cannon after the next one, we'll definitely we'll talk about him. And it's Nick Cannon. Look at that. Nick Cannon there. Okay. Perfect. That's amazing how that happened. It's the magic of technology.
The magic.
Is he relevant again?
So you guys can maybe educate me a little on this, because I heard a brief piece of it today on the radio on the ride home. But I don't know, Dave, you want to take the lead on this one? You want to?
Yeah. Well, he has his podcast or whatever, and he made, anti-Semitic statements. I really didn't even listen to his statements yet. I was actually talking to Ryan that I do the show with about it, because Mr. Cheeks was supposed to air he was on Wild 'N Out, the show he has on MTV, and his episode was supposed to air last night, and they canceled it. They're not showing it. Viacom fired him, and they're not showing Wild 'N Out anymore. And everybody was so pumped to see, Cheeks on Wild 'N Out, and then we go there and the show wasn't on. And then I found out it was because, he said, pretty much he was saying about how, I guess the Jewish people now, the white Jewish people, I guess took it up from the black Israelites or whatever. He was going into that. I don't know much about it. I just know that he said a bunch of anti-Semitic statements is what they're saying, and Viacom fired him. So there's no real public, there's no free speech. You got to watch what you say, especially nowadays. They're going through everything.
I mean, that's kind of fucked up. I mean, yeah, you say something that's fucked up, right? But you don't give a person a chance to explain themselves or apologize. I mean, here's the thing: if companies are so fast on just firing people for just one little fuck up, and it doesn't even have to be an active current fuck up. It could be something that's 10 years ago fuck up. Like, so if you just do that to everyone, you're gonna have no one.
Yep.
It's only a matter of time. Everyone has some shit on them that one way or another can get dug up that would be misrepresentative of the company in which you work for, right? If that's the case, it's kind of fucked, because you didn't do that shit where you were employed by that company, right? So how can that company even say, like, it's one thing if you're sitting there in the office and you're fucking the cleaning lady, right? Every Tuesday when she comes in, right?
Ugly Anna, right?
Your boss can say to you, hey, listen, you shouldn't be fucking the cleaning lady. You know what I mean? Even if you were in work, you would probably say, just don't do it again. And if you do it again, then he's probably, I'm going to have to fire you for fucking, it's like that episode of Seinfeld when he was banging the cleaning lady.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do it. So, I mean, in retrospect like that, it's like, when you think about it, it's like, how the fuck can you go back into time and punish people? But they're doing it. I mean, so they're taking down statues. They're doing all this other shit that has to do with like stuff of the past that had nothing to do with anyone who's on this planet right now. I mean, I don't know. You could go digging into some of my past. You can go back into the pod. We've been doing this podcast in some form or another since 2002. I'm sure you can go back and find some stuff that I said as a 21-year-old Arty 84 that was very, very offensive to many people. Probably everyone listening to it right now. But I mean, if that's your balance, I mean, shouldn't you progressively listen? So Nick Cannon going off. Why did he go off? I mean, why is he even doing a podcast anyways? He's on what? He's on
everything.
He's on everything. He's everywhere. I mean,
he's on everything. Yeah. But I guess why not, saturate the market with whatever you can? If people are going to listen, I mean, if like Viacom's going to pay him, why not? If someone's going to pay me to do a podcast,
His podcast is really interesting. It's called Canon Class, and he had Professor Griff, who's previously been accused of like saying anti-Semitic remarks and stuff and everything in 1989. I've got an interview and stuff and everything on my page with Professor Griff from like a couple years ago, and like I think like some of the remarks that he made were very, very prejudiced, and like, you know what I mean, and stuff. He should obviously, I think he probably expected backlash. Like, it seems like he kind of wanted it. I don't know necessarily what the ownership situation is with Wild 'N Out, but like, like he can easily go over to another platform. They've already been reports and stuff that's saying like Diddy's invited him over to Revolt. So Nick Cannon is going to be good. Like, the community and stuff, everything, like specifically the Black community. And he has a lot of like, the remarks that he was breaking up, there's a lot of like, Jews that actually believe that Black people are the true Hebrew Israelites. But I think it was like the words, the way that he worded it. So it's people over in Israel now that are claiming that, like, African people, from Ethiopia. And, some of the things that they were saying were factual, but like, I think he went over the line when he, started calling like, savages and barbarians and stuff.
I mean, it could just because he's miseducated on it as well. Maybe he didn't know 100% of the facts. Maybe he's going from what he heard. Maybe he's going from an opinion. Who knows? Like, you don't know, but no one will know. Still give him a chance.
we'll see. Like I think some of these scholarly works and stuff, everything like these books that have been put forth and stuff, everything they're not they're not like, you know what I mean, the best scholarly like, you know, arguments.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff, everything is not necessarily the best research and stuff, everything, and then quoting these like works and stuff, everything is like fact and stuff, everything, when it's like actually like, you know, opinion. And there's, you know, because there are a lot of Jews that can trace their origins to the Caucasus Mountains, but there's a number of like, you know, Jews that can't. So it's like, you know, a bunch of like, you know, different arguments about it and stuff, everything, like where it's a lot of like, you know, theory and stuff, everything that really couldn't be proven one way or the other.
Yeah.
I just think this day and age, also, you can't really talk bad about any culture right now.
No, you can't say anything.
Yeah, it's just, you know, not if it's right, if it's wrong. I think just the way everything's going right now, you're gonna get, you know,
it's tough to have an opinion. You know,
yeah,
it's
it
like,
is.
you gotta like you gotta be PG-13 about everything. You gotta have an opinion. I mean, yeah, people get hurt, but you know, people get hurt by people's opinions. And you know, I think everyone's, you know, opinions like assholes. Everyone has them and they stink. But at the end of the day, it's your opinion. I mean, just politics. You know what I mean? You sit at a bar and some guy wants to talk politics. You could be a right wing. The guy you're talking to could be a left wing. You be talking for 5 years straight. No one's ever going to agree on anything. So why even bother having the conversation at that point? You know what I mean? It's just going to go round and round and round. But it's your opinion. You believe one thing, they believe another thing. You know, I always look at it this way. Everyone has their opinions. Whether I agree with them or not, it's their opinions, and how they want to do whatever they want to do with it, that's their thing. You know, it could be right, it could be wrong. I think you cross the line when you start doing criminal acts. I think that's when opinions start becoming a little outrageous, right? I mean, when you start doing stuff that's hurtful to other people, or, you know, it definitely, I think that's where most people should draw the line. I mean, I don't know, when people start fighting, shooting each other for opinions, I think now we're starting to get into like Middle East type stuff where people have been fighting over religious for hundreds and thousands of years.
Yeah. What do you think about like, you know, I wrote a blog about like Jeff Neff, who's the writer for you know, Tucker Carlson Tonight, and he actually was fired from the Tucker Carlson show like for like writing racist marks, but under like a pseudonym. You know, and stuff, everything, and like, you know, researchers and stuff, everything from like CNN found like, you know, he had been, you know, writing for the show, but like he'd been using like writing like, you know, these horrific remarks. And they fired him, you know. Like,
you just gotta be careful what you do, I guess. I mean,
yeah, you gotta be careful this day and age. You can't.
Oh yeah.
I do think some people out there though just try to create a counterculture. Like they don't necessarily disagree with you, but they disagree with you for the sake of disagreeing with you to create this whole counterculture thing. And it's fucking, I hate those people.
People like conflict, right? People like to, there's no reason to argue. You know, you've dated, we've all dated girls like that. We've all been in relationships with a fellow girlfriend who just wants to create cancel culture with your relationship. Like you're wearing blue pants, she wants you to wear red pants. You're going out for a chicken dinner, she wants steak dinner. No matter what you do, she's gonna argue with you. And so basically, you can, if everyone just goes home and sits about the worst girlfriend or boyfriend they've ever had, and just think, damn. These are what these cancelizers, I'm going to call them cancelizers.
Yep. Cancelizers. I like that. Cancelizers.
Yeah.
All right. So we're hitting the point. We get a second guest. Dave, do you want to stick around or do you go? Or
I'm going to get going. But
okay.
Unless you guys need me to stay, I don't know.
It's up to you. 100%. Your call.
I got to get going.
Okay, man.
I got to call.
Go ahead and plug
I got another interview I got to do. Yeah, everybody, you catch me on the Ryan Show FM. I mean, go to Ryan Show, www.theryanshow.net. There's a link there. You can see every show, every station that has us. We're on 160 stations. We're on 6 FM stations around the U.S. We're on stations in Nigeria, stations in Ghana. We're on stations in the U.K., everywhere.
That's pretty cool.
Find us on Instagram. We pretty much put everything on Instagram. You can find us on the Ryan Show FM or the Ryan Show. Ryan runs that page. I'm Hampton's Dave. If you want to find me, you can check probably your girlfriend's DM. But I want to say thank you guys for having me on. It's been a blast.
Thanks.
Get you guys. We got to link up. We'll do it. Yeah, nice meeting you guys.
Hell yeah.
Ryan, good seeing you, man. Arty, thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm going to go right to actually Instagram right now, and I'm going to try to hit up Ugly Anna. And see
There you go.
Where we can take this. I'm
go
gonna
for
try
it.
to try to pop my own bubble.
Hey, tell her we said hi.
Yeah, I will. I will.
All right, Hampton's Dave, everyone,
All right,
for
guys.
Ryan's show. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, guys. Everybody have a good one. Be
You
safe
too.
out there.
All right, he's a funny guy, right? Very entertaining. Very entertaining. Now I got to listen to the show. Now I got to listen to his show because it's basically he was basically doing the same thing we're doing, and then they got picked up by an FM station. So
Yeah.
we'll get ourselves a project, right?
Yeah, very inspirational, man. I went out like, like a couple years ago when I first moved here, and like I was in New York. And so like I was like just looking for things to do in New York and stuff and everything. And I saw like, Grandmaster Cass, he's like an old school hip hop artist, is gonna be being interviewed on like, the Ryan show.
Yeah.
When like, and stuff and everything. And I just struck up a friendship with Ryan, and
Nice. And now our second guest, a man who you may recognize from last week's show. You may recognize him from being the oldest virgin that we know. And you may know him as being Skippy. And second week on the show, we needed you back because we had so much more to ask you. I am Skippy. Skippy, what is up, sir? How you doing?
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Hey, Skippy. How you doing, man?
And Skippy,
Beautiful.
We're just so we can refresh that if we got some new people. Where are you zooming us from?
Layton, Utah. It's about 20, 30 miles north of Salt Lake.
Okay.
And I'm in an apartment or a house that has 6 rooms, and I'm room number 2 of 6. So yeah.
And who in the other rooms? Your other wives?
I found it on Craigslist, and each room is month to month.
Okay.
And didn't know any of the other roommates before moving in. I think the youngest guy here is like 22 or 23. I think I'm 90% positive I'm the oldest guy here at 42.
Any ladies in there?
No. It's the person that owns the house has only a few rules. It's no smoking inside the house or within like 20 feet of the front door.
Yep.
No, you can have sex here in your room,
Nice.
but they just don't want overnight partners, kind of thing, for the sake of the other roommate.
Hey, that's a great excuse to kick somebody out. It's like, yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah.
You know what?
And that's exactly what I was thinking, because I don't want bitches be staying in my room overnight,
Yeah, man, fuck that.
Yeah. You guys know how I roll. Man.
Yeah, right. You'd be like, listen,
Yeah.
I like.
I chose this place. I didn't choose me. No. What?
Okay,
How's your week been, Skippy?
Skippy's very excited this week. Skippy, have you? So just so we know, have you had sex yet?
No, I am waiting until the goal is to wait until I get married. I've like thought in terms of like just because that's my goal, that doesn't mean it may necessarily happen, because I have heard of people that have like been waiting also, and then like a week or two before they got married, they had a hot and heavy night, and so like one of my friends, he took his little brother with him on every date that he went on with his fiance the last 2 weeks of their engagement, because he didn't want to screw up, and he figured nothing was like a boner killer like having the little brother watching you make out with your fiance at the doorstep. So but I don't have a little brother, so
unless you guys with like the brother and the guy were like in their 20s and the girl was into 2 siblings at the same time, that could be a dangerous combination.
I don't want the kind of girl that's into that, but yeah, sure, I guess.
You're gonna marry a girl and she's like, by the way, I know you keep bringing your brother along. Are you giving me some kind of signal?
Are there any potentials out there for you right now, Skippy? Are there a few ladies out there you're eyeing?
There's a girl that I really like, but she has 3 jobs and she just moved, and she's also a mom, and so she like messaged me to say, I've got a really busy schedule right now. I'm not being, she's like, it's not just you. I don't have time for anyone or anything. And then she was like, plus being a mom, it's probably best to limit my kids' COVID reach while I'm doing this. Plus, one of her jobs, I think, is working with people doing like helping assist elderly or something like that. And so for her job, she can't take it with her into places and things. And so she's like, sorry, I don't mean to be rude, but I'm going to have to stop going on dates with not just you, anyone else. And I was like, you know what? That's okay. And I can't afford it. And within a couple days of when she told me that, I lost my car. So now I'm on a bike and I can't really bike over to pick up a girl. So,
hey, we know a guy who didn't have a car for the longest period of time. And he was still, picking up broads. And
oh, really?
There's a way around it. I guess.
Yeah, I'm not that kind of guy, though. Like, you guys remember the episode of Seinfeld when George talks about the orgy guy? Yes. I'm not orgy guy.
I have that carpets and all that. Yes, That's like the third Seinfeld reference tonight. And you're like, with the second guest, like, this must be the theme tonight, Seinfeld.
It's a relatable show.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Hey, Skip, you seem like you seem like a nice guy. You seem like a guy that would make a nice husband. And the girl that finally wins the prize. Now you got to be careful now, because now like some girls give guys because they have money and all that stuff, and like that's the reason. Now girls may want, and we talked about this last week, have a situation where they may just want to get with you just so they can win the prize of Stanley, Virginia, because girls are into stuff. They're into games and projects, right? Like for them, they might look at you and be like, "This is a project. I want to try to." You're the Mount Everest in their sexual endeavors, right? So once they conquer you, they've conquered the sexual world of being a demon, right?
I laugh just because if I'm the Mount Everest, when they get to the top, they'll find such a very small guy by comparison point of the mountain, and then I also don't have much in the bank account. I mean, like a girl wanting to scale this mountain. I mean, I don't know if you guys can tell, but I'm not so fit. I have lots of shortcomings.
But beauty is within. Remember that.
I'm a beautiful soul. I'm a sweet spirit. God loves me. I got that going for me. Not much else. So yeah.
Well, I think you're underrating yourself a bit there. I think you may be a little more qualification out there.
One day, I've got a lot of potential. I will say I am as much of a lump of coal with the potential to be a diamond as any person out there. I just haven't, I just don't know how much diamond there is currently. But one day, I can lose some weight. I can take care of a lot of the problems I have going for me.
Well, one thing you could do to fix
What's up?
Skippy, one thing you could do to fix one of those problems, one of those things you could do to fix one of those problems just by sitting right there is figure out the monetization thing and your email address. I can't believe when you said that last week about how much that's step one. Next time we speak, I want to hear that you have figured that out, because man, you owe it to yourself. All that hard work you put in with your videos.
Let's connect off air, and if you help me do that, I'll give you like we'll find a way to get you a percentage of it or something. But if you help me solve that, then boom. Sure.
This has been bothering Adam all week. He must have mentioned it a half dozen times. Like out of the blue, we sitting there and he's like, I can't believe he can't figure out his monetization. And I'm like, Skippy? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, what made you think of that?
We'll have a Zoom call where the two of us sit down, Zoom it. You look at my computer. I'll give you all those weird details and help me figure it out.
There you go. I mean, I'm more concerned about his sexual activity. Adam's more concerned about your economic activity. So yeah.
And I don't have either going for me. I don't
need a little bit of money to take out the bitches. You need a little bit of dough. Take out the ladies.
I mean, I don't know how do the Mormons date? Do the guy pays for everything, or do they go? Where'd they go when you split it? What do they call it? Going.
Oh yeah, Dutch. No, I find that there's like the traditional chivalrous. Chivalry is big within the church because of the patriarchy kind of role where the men are encouraged to be like that. But I also know that with being on the tightwad side that I am right now, where I will currently try and do like really fun cheap dates things.
Yeah.
So like the last date that I went on that I filmed, which I'll hopefully have up on my channel here in the next couple of weeks. We went lawn bowling, where we took a bowling ball, took some Clorox wipes, and set up some like old Mountain Dew bottles, right? And then on the grass, rolled a bowling ball, knocked them down. And so it was cheap as they come.
You said something very important. You
A lot of fun.
Clorox wipes. So you were making sure you were making everything's clean, right? Was it because of the pandemic you were using the Clorox?
For her, as much as anything else. I mean, when she has a job where she's around people and they're concerned, and for her kids' sake, and for mine, you know, I mean, like during the day, I probably screwed things up for myself by. I had promised myself that I wasn't going to go in for a hug or a kiss or anything. And at one point I was like so excited and Twitter-pated and giddy with how things were. And I just like in the middle go, I told myself I wasn't going to do this, but can I have a hug right now? And it kind of comes out of nowhere, and it's awkward. And no doubt when I post the video, there will be lots of comments of like, why that moment did you choose to blow your wad of excitement right there? If you had maybe played it cool, you could have maybe later, I don't know, but just in the moment I was really excited. Even then I was like, oh crap, hugging her wasn't part of the COVID plan. Of that was too close, because I really wanted to honor her by not being close, and by all the steps that I took to let her know that I really am taking this seriously for myself, and especially for her as a mom and her with her job. So yeah.
Well, how'd she feel about it when you went and did that?
The hug, I think she thought that it was cute how excited I was, but it was also probably poorly timed.
And how?
That's something that you'd have to ask her.
So I get a couple questions. So she let you videotape this date, which is cool enough right there, because she knew, you know, obviously the YouTube page and everything like that. How did you meet her? How did you run it? Was she a fan or?
No, so my buddy Justin Burkhart, he and I talked about doing a thing where girls would email in to would send an email to, you know, I even forgot the email address that I set up. It was like maybe win a date with Skippy or something. I'd have to look it up. Anyways,
email.com. It wasn't a Hotmail. You're having trouble with your Hotmail accounts. I hope this was an easy.
Yeah, no, it was a Gmail. It was a Gmail. But I had people email in, and because I wanted to do it in a blind fashion, right? So if it was like a 4'9", 500-pound girl, or if it was like a 6'4", 98-pound girl.
Now you talk.
Whatever he found, and I wanted to do the Zoom date.
Okay.
And it just so happened that of like the after promoting it for 2 or 3 weeks on my channel, I think there was only like 5 or 6 people that emailed in, and of the 5 or 6, one of them happened to be this 23-year-old, cute as they come, super happy and fun mom of one that is 45 miles away. It was incredible, or 60 miles away. Absolutely better than I could have imagined.
Yep.
And then, yeah.
There you go. Beautiful. That's how magic's made right there. You know, sometimes though, you know, when you least expect it, right?
Yeah. Well, and I've been telling people for years that whoever introduces me to the girl that I eventually marry, I'm going to either give them a brand new washer or dryer or a gallon of milk a month for 25 years. And if you do the math on it, the gallon of milk a month for 25 years is the better deal financially. But a brand new washer, whoa, that's kind of a good deal. And so I was on the date. Oh, crap, I didn't tell him this, and I don't think I told her this, but I was on the date with her looking at her going, I am going to owe my buddy Justin a brand new washer if everything goes well. It didn't go that well. But it was that feeling of like, wow, you are get someone a washer.
If you play your cards right, she'll give you a gallon of milk for a year and a half if you get pregnant.
I see the I get the inference.
So I mean, it works out. Everyone's getting milk. So
yeah,
milk's expensive.
Free milk. Everyone wants free milk, right?
Why
buy the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Exactly, Skippy. You know what I'm talking about.
I hear you.
At first, I thought you were going to buy the girl wash, and I was like, yeah, you probably don't want to tell a girl when you marry you're going to buy her a washer. It's kind of
no. I was thinking of something like really funny to incentivize people to help set me up on dates with someone really quality.
No, I mean,
I came up with those two options.
Everyone could use a wash machine. Usually, you need a wash machine when you least expect you need a wash machine, right? Like usually, and if you go into a laundromat, it gets pretty pricey. I can't imagine. Well,
and the gallon of milk a month means that I'm only out a few bucks per month, but over the years, it really adds up.
Oh yeah.
And so
your only hope is you got to pray that it become lactose intolerant.
Well, I came up with this idea in 2006-ish, and in the summer of 2007, I drove tour buses up in Alaska for Princess Tours, and while I was driving tour buses, I said this over the speaker system for like the 40 people that were in my tour bus, and someone raised their hand, and I like look into that little mirror where you can look back and see all the people behind, and I go, "Oh, someone has a question. Yes, go ahead." And the lady goes, "I'm old. What if I die before the 25 years is up?"
Yeah.
And I looked at her and I said, "That's a great question. And on the spot, I've never been asked it before, but here's what I'll do. If you are, in fact, the person who sets me up with the girl that I eventually marry, and if, of the two options, you choose a gallon of milk for 25 years, if you die before that time is up, but you put it in your will that you bequeath the remainder of the months to so-and-so, damn right I'll honor that." And I said, "I promise you, I will honor that. So now all you have to do is find the perfect girl for me and let me know, and I'll see you at the wedding, and we'll get that put into your will." So, yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. The gallon of milk a month would make my life a little more convenient. So I'm actually gonna go out there and start looking, because I think if I get a gallon, I don't have to usually I run out of milk when I pour a bowl of cereal, and then I go to the refrigerator to get milk, and there's usually no milk there. And now if I buy a quart of milk, I use it too fast. But if I go buy a gallon of milk, I throw half of it away. So some of my life can't justify the amount of milk I use, and I can never, in the last 10 years of living on my own, figure out the milk equation. So, but if someone's buying me
now, there's got to be some like sort of online service, right? That you can like if there's a book of the month club, if there's a chocolate of the month club kind of thing, right? There's got to be a milk of the month club kind of thing where
it's called getting you
on a subscription basis. Someone sends you a gallon of milk chilled in a dry pack thing through the mail. That's got to be a possible thing,
like
right?
Dairy Monthly.
I don't know.
Dairy Monthly, yes.
Dairy Monthly magazine.
This is our $1 million idea. This is how we make millions, guys, right here. This idea, if it hasn't been thought of, you know what? We just may have become, should we split the money 3 ways that we become? Like, do we count how many people are we letting in on our idea?
Well, we got to be careful, because we're going to make enemies with the lactose people. So
hate it. They have absolutely no tolerance for lactose. I mean, that's how they live. Could we throw in?
Maybe that's an option, though.
Eggs and cheese.
That's an option. It can be part of our monthly service.
I run out of cheese a lot. Could we throw in some cheese? Eggs. And every time I want scrambled eggs, I got one egg. I go in the fridge, I got one egg. Or
that's the brilliance of our idea, guys. We can expand it beyond just milk, right? We can do some goat milks in there. We can throw in your cheeses, dairy, non-dairy, powdered milk. Guys, I'm telling you, you get the backing of the money, you get the technology, you get people interested. I brought you the idea. Boom.
Skippy, have you had powdered milk before?
As a little kid.
Yeah, it's not good. I tasted my son's formula once the last few months. And I can only imagine the how bad one would have to crave milk in order to make it a powdered form. It's just some things shouldn't be powdered. I was watching this guy on YouTube, for example. This guy, His name is Steve Wallace, spelled Wallis. And what he does is he has 1 million views. And what he does is goes camping in places. Like someone wanted to go camp in a highway median. So he went to camp the night in a highway median. Some guy wanted him to camp in front of a police station. He camped in front of a police station. And he was eating these, what do they call those military meals? IMDs or what they're called?
MREs, made ready to eat.
Right. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Ready to eat. So he was eating one that was like a shepherd's pie, and he was making it, and he was mixing the powder up with the water, and it was just, he was saying how delicious it was. And I was like, how? I guess, I mean, if you're starving, I guess, right? I mean, yeah.
Sure.
But I mean, if you have the choice between Lush's liquid milk and powdered milk, I feel that one would choose the liquid milk. But sure. I could be wrong. I've never tried powdered milk. I've only had baby formula, and I don't think the two are the same. So.
Yeah. No, I see what you're saying. But for this $1 million idea, much like other services have like different tiers, right? Oh, you got your like $20 a month value kind of thing, right? If you're willing to spend $80 a month for this, right? Heck, maybe we go outside of the U.S. and we get pregnant women from third world countries, right? And we do like a very exclusive.
I like this idea.
You know, we do like an exclusive membership with, yeah.
Have you ever tasted breast milk before, Skippy?
There's freaks.
Have any of you guys ever tasted breast milk before?
No.
Ryan?
Oh, no.
Adam?
No, never have.
I poured breast milk in my cereal by mistake.
I know someone who has, though.
That's right. Yeah.
Oh, really? No, you haven't, have you?
By mistake in my cereal. By mistake. I was staying at
if my wife was pregnant, damn straight I'm going to try breast milk, you know? I mean,
like,
I'm not going to let my kid experience the joy of that. I'm not going to fast from sucking on titties for, you know, however long she's.
One for you and one for Skippy Jr., right? You guys can both.
There's two boobs. Are you telling me one can't feed the kid and one can't feed me?
Arty, how can that be by mistake, though? I mean, it's not like breast milk is in a milk carton.
It was. Okay, so I was staying at this house. They weren't even my friends. They were the girl I was dating's friends. And the girl was pumping. And she was pumping into these glass, like, you know, like jars, whatever, like that. They would hold milk in. But they also got milk delivery. So they would pour the milk into these like crafts, if you will. And put it in the fridge. But like, how the fuck did I know? I came downstairs staggering in the middle of the night and I was hungry. So I just grabbed one. And the next morning I was like, hey, I go, I just want to let you know, because they were cooking breakfast. I go, I think that milk in there is probably a little sour. I go, I had some Cheerios last night, and the milk it tasted funky. And the guy was like, oh, really? He's like, oh, shit. He's like, oh. And the girl was like, really? She's like, we just got that milk the other day. I go, yeah. I go, she's like, what milk did you get? I go, it was in the glass jar in there. And they both looked at each other. One had an orange lid. One had a white lid. And how was I supposed to know, being a foreigner of this house, what lid represented what type of milk? Apparently, I lost the breast milk battle.
I'm trying to remember what movie that's from, where that same situation happens in the movie. I know it happens in a movie. I just can't remember what movie it is.
Sounds like an episode of Seinfeld. Like,
yeah.
And it comes back to Seinfeld. Yep.
I can't imagine. I guess, but if you're a kid, I guess if that's all you know, right? Then it's good to you. I guess it tastes good, right? You don't have nothing.
What was the reaction though? Like, you know, from them that you drunk her breast milk?
They were dying laughing. They were like, and then the girl I was with was kind of like a stick in the mud. So she was appalled to the fact that I was, in a way, third degree sucking her friend's tit, because, you know, I wasn't literally sucking the tit, but there was a middleman between the two, and I was.
It would have only been fair then for her to try it as well, since everyone else there had presumably tried it.
I actually suggested the idea. That everyone just has a little sample. We have a little tasting like you do for a nice craft beer. And the only other person that tasted it was the husband, because he was game. He thought it was hilarious. And he goes, yeah, this stuff's terrible. And I go, you should try it and I go, you know how much sugar I put in my Cheerios to try to kill the taste? I go,
how does he not know what it tastes like fresh, though?
He never tasted it. I mean, there's a lot of guys. Yeah, a lot of guys don't taste their wife's mucus, like milk membrane stuff, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, maybe it's just that I've never had sex before, but I would assume that, like, when you think of all of the things that you and your wife will do one day, that's just an assumed part of it, right?
I mean, listen, I'm a guy who's down for whatever. So if my wife was breastfeeding, I'd probably would jump on the old breast milk bandwagon for the taste, and you know what I mean? Because you want to make sure your kid's getting a quality, meal.
Product, yeah.
You know,
well,
but,
and then how big do women's boobs get while they're breastfeeding? Like, don't they go up a couple sizes or something?
They
go up with a size, but they get more firm than anything else. It's more of a firm thing than an actual size. I mean, they grow a little bit. Like you could see it progressively during the pregnancy. The boobs will grow to a larger size, but they get firm. They're almost like they go from like a waterbed to like a bag of sand. You know.
With boobs being a guy's version of like Disneyland or like Six Flags, how does every guy that's straight not venture in and try that out? Because it's like if by chance I get married and while my wife is married to me, if there was an event that happened that all of a sudden made my meat get a different shape or something, I would think that my wife would be interested and be like, oh, you now have more width, or oh, you now have more length. Let's spend some time down in that area exploring that, right? So I would think that from the reverse side of that, right? Oh, you're my wife. Your boobs are now suddenly getting bigger. I'm very interested in that part of your body. Let's spend some time there exploring everything there is to know about that.
No, don't get me wrong. That's an interesting perspective.
They also get, the thing is though, I know they also get like engorged and extremely sensitive and painful. So I think I might understand a woman not wanting a guy to be like, don't fucking touch me.
And if you start trying to milk and she has no intentions to actually milk the baby, you could cause a lot of like extra leakage that may not be wanted. Like she'd be wearing a shirt and all of a sudden her shirt gets like saturated, I guess, you know?
Oh, gotcha. It becomes like a wet t-shirt thing.
Yeah, it's almost like a leaking gasket on like an engine. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to start screwing around with that stuff because then your engine might fail. You know?
Gotcha.
I guess.
So then, does that mean that the baby sucking on the tit and it doesn't hurt when the baby does, but it does with the guy? Or is that just an excuse that women come up with to get guys to stop gnawing on their chest?
I think it does hurt. And I know it causes a lot of structural exterior damage for the baby as well. I mean, from what I understand, a nipple before pregnancy to a nipple after breastfeeding is never the same.
You know, 4 guys talking about this is exactly the way that this topic was meant to be covered.
Like, we know all about it.
There's a single woman in this watching this right now that's not thinking, you know what, you 4 guys are exactly who should be having this conversation. Let's not get any women in. This is the gospel truth. What you guys are saying, it's all factual. In fact, next, let's have a conversation about race relations. Hold on, Ryan. Don't come in for this. Let's just have 3 white guys talking strictly about race. Let's not bring in anyone from outside these 3 white guys. And then we'll have a talk about, Mormons, and only have the non-Mormons talking about Mormons. So, yeah.
You know what? I would love to hear a woman's perspective on us, our perspective on the breastfeeding. I'm sure they'll agree with us. Right?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. In some ways, yes.
Yeah.
Are we calling this episode locker room talk or like boob talk, or are we?
I had a theology teacher in high school, and he said the milk was good. We asked him because, if he'd ever tried breast milk when his wife was pregnant, he said. He's like, yeah, the milk is good. That was his answer. So I'm taking his word for it.
That's good.
Good.
Did you guys ever see that Chappelle Show sketch where he plays P. Diddy and he has the group of making the band go get him some things, and one of the things he does
Cambodian breast milk,
the breast milk, and
Now
I saw that the other day. Good
Cambodian breast milk. This is a topic for another day.
Cambodian breast milk, yes.
Is there a different taste within the races? Like, is there, is there different flavor profile?
I think so.
I bet it is, because I bet it's based on diet,
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I guess that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that kind of like what women say about semen? Like if a guy has like pineapple or something like that or whatever?
Yeah. That's what I've heard. Yeah.
So I heard the pineapple thing. I've never firsthand proven it one way or another.
Again, 4 straight guys. This is right up our alley. 4 straight guys talking about this topic. Nothing.
If anyone's watching,
There's no topic that we can't cover that we know nothing about. Let's
Well,
keep talking about stuff that we have no.
Let's talk about pap smears.
How about OBGYNs? How do you pick a good one?
Exactly. Oh.
Well,
This is awesome. That should be like one thing that we talk about every single week that people watching would be like, none of you guys know anything about this. Why are you talking as though you're experts? Well,
I feel like, yes, we're not experts, and B, we haven't experienced or will never experience any of the things we just spoken about in firsthand. But
I think next week I'll have a lab coat.
yeah.
But I would like
a pie chart.
I would like to know how close we were. You know, just how close. You know, it's like everyone wants to go to Fenway Park and hit a home run, right? And even if you just made contact with the ball, right? You're like, oh, at least I made contact with the ball. Like, how close am I? I'm not looking over the hill of the ground. So how close am I to how accurate what we think is the truth is actually the truth?
I think that's
a great point. It's not just topics like this. It's talking about things like, from my experience of hitting a professional home run during a Major League Baseball game, it feels like this when you crack the bat. Oh, you've never been in the Major League before, so you don't really know? Oh, okay. Yeah. Lots of things that we could go on and on about.
You've pretty much
we talk about COVID-19 as though we're all experts, right?
You've summed up the Trump presidency, Skippy, right there.
Yes. Yes.
Well, but you did make a point. The COVID-19, everyone talks. So if you go on your Facebook page, all of our Facebook page, we all have different friends. You would think that you have about 100 friends who are experts on economics and political experts and COVID-19 experts, because everyone out there seems to be an expert on what they talk about. Or you could be like my mother, who just shares stuff and doesn't read it. So she could be sharing an article from like 6 years ago, but if it's something that catches her eye, she just shares it. And then we have to explain to her, like, that was a fake article. That didn't really happen, right? Like, you have to have that conversation, which is awesome.
Oh, the other day, someone posted a video about someone getting a police officer getting beaten up, and they're like, but no one ever talks about the fact that the police officer was being beaten up. And it took me 2 seconds to research it to find out that story happened in 2017, right? But they were talking about it as though it happened like last week, and that's why we should all be offended. And I don't have a problem with saying like, oh yes, like police officers shouldn't be getting beaten up too. It's just that when you're presenting it as though it's happening right now during what we're going through, and a very simple search could make you go, oh, no, that actually didn't happen now. It changes the complete dynamic. That's just like one example of how like everyone sees something and is like, click before they even add any context into it whatsoever.
That's the world we live in these days. I mean, I think, if anyone goes to social media to find out political information or religious information, I think you're really looking at the wrong resource there. I think there's certain avenues that are in the social media that may actually benefit that, like certain groups maybe that, so like, for example, if you were a woman who just got pregnant, you wouldn't tune into this show to find out ins and outs of breast milk, right? I mean, we're not the guys you want, but people would share this video and say, this is what breast milk is all about. And then for a million people out there were looking at us who have no clue, talking about breast milk and think we're the experts. And you know what? In some ways, those are very popular. I think in the breast milk community. And I think, there's a niche that hasn't been tapped yet. And I think we could probably conquer this.
It's like the people that put doctor right in front of their names, right? As though, and everyone's like, oh, Dr. Phil, he clearly would know everything about da, 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 da. Yeah. So we could just refer to ourselves as doctor, insert your name here. And
like the doctor of history. Like, here's the thing. For me, if you're not a medical person, right, you really shouldn't have doctor. But I understand you can get doctorines on anything and technically be a doctor.
Like a dentist?
Well, not so much a dentist because that's still medical.
dentist.
I'm talking about being like a doctor of like history. You got a doctorate in history, but you say,
Yes.
"Hi, I'm Doctor So and So," and I'll look at you and be like, "Oh, you must have saved a life," and he's like, "No, but I talk about lives that happened."
Yeah.
In the past.
I preach
An
about
art history doctorate, like a doctorate in art history, still makes you Doctor. Insert your last name. So when someone says, Dr. Jessup, could you tell me about this? And someone goes, "Oh, you're a doctor." Well, technically, yes, because I have a doctorate in art history, right? But yeah, no, it's the pompousness of the word doctor that makes people full of themselves and think they can talk about anything.
Pretentious.
So.
But I'm purposely
very pretentious.
I'm only saying this because I don't have a doctorate. You could be damn right. If I had a doctorate, I'd be telling everyone I was a doctor.
Yeah.
So,
Me too.
I'm very
You hate
hypocritical.
them, but you do it yourself.
I would in a heartbeat. I would, if I had an opportunity to get a doctorate in anything that was a quite easy task, like you said, art history. If all I had to do was show up to a few classes and write a doctorate, I would be telling everyone I am Dr. Damati, and I would just leave it at that and let them fill in the blanks themselves to figure out. You know what I mean? So
within the Mormon Church, we have like you have different like stations within Mormon Church, and so you have like an elders quorum president, right? And you have like the stake president, right? And so because the word president, you have like a relief society president. These are all like just different parts of the church where the word president is after the name, and so or is the title for the person. And so we have you'll run into someone like President Jorgensen, right? And they then get referred to as President Jorgensen throughout the community by people, where they'll see him and be like, "Oh, hi, President Jorgensen." And I just think of someone not from Utah coming to Utah and hearing someone introduce themselves as or hearing someone being introduced as President Jorgensen and being like, "President of what?" And it's it's got that same kind of feel to it. But yeah.
Well, Skippy,
I guess that was a very niche.
No, but you make a point. That I have to say, talking to you 2 weeks in a row, every time I talk to you, I feel like my world's like opened up a little more. I'm more enlightened. So, I mean, we appreciate you coming back on again.
Yeah,
because
thanks for coming on, Skippy.
Every time I end with you, I just want to know. I just want to get into your head a little more. I could, if I had 15 minutes to jump on your head,
just want to creep around in there.
Yeah. And I want to be there, if possible, the day that you sign the papers, if you will. Like
live streaming my wedding night is something.
No, but I want to be in the room. I want to hold the towel for you. Like I want to.
The boom. I want to be the fluffer.
Whatever, to wipe the sweat off your brow after an intense.
Yeah.
I like so.
I have my sex song picked out. I've had it picked out since I was 16 years old. And there are some people that know it, and I've ruined the song for so many people. But if you ever look up the Celine Dion song "All Coming Back to Me Now," that's my sex song. That's the song I want to lose my virginity to. It's all coming back. It's all coming back to me now. There were moments of gold and there were flashes of light. And I can just picture myself, my O face, my vinegar squirt, or Anyways.
Listen, I don't want to be the devil's advocate, and I don't want to judge you at any point of any of your expertise, but that's a very long song, and I'm going to go on a limb and say that you're not going to make it past the drums.
Yeah, it's going to be disappointing, Skip.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Pick the song "Roll to Me," which is like 2 minutes and 30 seconds from Delamitri, right?
If it's your first time, I don't think you're making it past the bloop in the beginning of the song. Because I think once the eagle has landed,
yes,
Neil Armstrong's already on the moon with the flag. But I mean, it's normal. It happens to all of us. I mean, obviously a little bit later in life for you, but there's nothing against that. It is what it is. What it is. But we could all go back to our first time and say, hey, listen, we weren't no Ron Jeremy. We were more like a Ron Howard. It was real.
Maybe I start the song as I'm taking off the clothes. That way, as I'm actually entering, it's right at the very end of the song.
Passions of
Yeah.
Oh, then you could rip the shirt off, and then
Yep.
you could actually do
Yep.
what do you call it?
Baby, 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 when you kiss me like this.
You touch
Yep.
me like that. I like that.
You guys know the song, and I'm telling you, it is a song that when I was 16 years old, I heard it, and my friend was like, "Oh, that'd make a pretty good sex song." I'm like, "That would. That would." I'm like, "Ooh, that's."
You know?
And I made it like a declarative statement at the age of 16. Okay, guys, I'm calling dibs on that one. That one is my sex song for when I obviously thought I'd have used it by now. But
It never made it to my boner jams, but until today, I never thought that that was a possibility. But I'm actually going to put that into the boner jams, and
Can I just say something very obscure? But if I ever go with someone to a Celine Dion concert, I would almost bet money that I cream myself at the concert while she's singing that song, just because I have that song built up in my mind as being my Lose My Virginity song. Like hearing that song live from Celine Dion, if you were a betting man, does he or does he not cream himself during the song live and in person while watching Celine Dion? You have to put your money on yes. Like I don't know how I make it with dry pants out of that concert.
See, now I'm jealous that you could accomplish that without being touched, because I know I couldn't. I need to at least be touched. I need physical contact.
I want to be like,
kind of jealous.
I want to be there, and then as soon as I hear that first note, because it's like a weird intro, right? As soon as I hear that note, I want to find you in the crowd. I want to make eye contact with you, and then we can just kind of like acknowledge each other and
That sounds
acknowledge.
awkward.
But no, we acknowledge each other because we know what's about to happen.
Have you guys ever creamed yourself while dancing with a girl before? Because I have, where I had the splurge on my pants while grinding with a girl.
Yeah, I mean,
and had to like wrap someone else's shirt around my waist and leave the establishment.
I think I came close once, but never actually
you guys haven't?
did. I came very close once, but then I think it was like late middle school, early high school, and like I was getting that warm, tingly feeling, and then like I just was like, no, I gotta walk away.
There's no shame in that. I mean, it happens. I mean, especially when the instrument isn't used to the amount of abuse that it's going to be given. It's like it's like a gun.
Yes.
A brand new gun, the trigger is very loose. It's a very easily to set off.
Air trigger.
As the gun gets old,
air trigger. Yep.
Yeah, it's tougher. So yeah,
I did once get an uncontrollable erection that I couldn't stand up at a meeting at work once.
NRBs. NRBs. No reason boner.
No reason boner.
I like it. This is a serious question though. Like I know you meet a lot of celebrities. Have you ever thought of trying to reach out to Lolo Jones? Because she's 41, around the same age. She's a virgin.
Oh, yeah. Damn, that would be good.
I, in all seriousness, have this idea. I want to throw a virgin convention, right? And she's one of the people I want to have come speak at the virgin convention.
Nice. I'd go. Let me know when it is. I want to do that.
I'll hang out.
Yeah,
I would.
We'll do the show live from there.
Yeah,
I think
I've got the whole idea thought out. I mean, like I could go into really great detail about the Virgin Convention. I want it to end with us all like having the final event be a Donnie and Marie show, because that just seems like the most wholesome thing that you could possibly all go to. Like not like a horror-ish kind of show, or possibly Cirque du Soleil, but yeah, if it ended with like drinking milk at Donnie and Marie show, that might be a little perfect.
Skippy, all right, we're hitting that point. Why don't you share?
It was fun, guys.
We loved it. We love having you.
Anytime.
We will. Trust me, we will. When you plug in, how can we see you? How do we get to you? How do the people out there get to know this guy?
At I am Skippy on Venmo if you want to send me money and help me get out of the horrible slump and maybe stop riding a bike since I don't have a car right now. Anything like that would be appreciated. And also you can find me on Cameo at I am Skippy, and of course my YouTube channel at I am Skippy. I've been I should have posted some videos by now, but I'm just being completely blunt, I've been going through some severe depression, and it's been all I can do to leave the house and not go crazy someday. So yeah.
Jesus, man. Well, hopefully cry out of that. It's terrible. I mean, it happens to a lot of people.
It happens. Yeah.
You know.
This was fun. This is the highlight of my week, so I appreciate this.
We appreciate that, you know. You're probably the only person ever said, you know, the highlight of my week is seeing faces. You know, it's probably a first, which actually makes me feel a little bit good inside. But and also the other side, it means like, damn, you gotta get out, get some of that fresh Utah air.
Yeah,
Well,
gotta get something better momentum going in my life. I paid my taxes the other day. I thought I was getting $400 back. I only made like $3,500 last year, right? I thought I was getting $300 back, and there was a loophole where I actually ended up owing $300, and then I had to pay the person doing my taxes $100. So I went from thinking I was getting $300 to paying $400 kind of thing. So yeah.
Fuck.
So I was just like, what another really trying not to swear poopy day on top of a bunch of others. So
let it out.
I know. Yeah. Maybe that'll help your frustration.
So like I say, I am Skippy on Venmo if you want to help me have a better day, and if not, that's okay.
Let's help you get. Everyone out there watching the show, if you have a few bucks, let's help this guy at least pay for his taxes. Because the last thing we want is an I am Skippy in a white collar federal tax prison. Because that won't be good for anyone, and you don't want to lose your virginity in prison because it's not what you're probably thinking you want to do, right? So. Yeah. It's, for that matter.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me on again. I really do.
Remember,
this is fun.
Sometimes you have to get knocked down lower than you've ever been to stand up taller than you ever were, man. So, just keep going, bro.
Amen.
Thanks, Ryan Glover. You're awesome, man.
Skippy, I do want to email you because I do want to get in touch with you to figure out your YouTube account. I don't want any money. I just really seriously want to help because it's driving me fucking insane. So I really
let's do it this week.
Can I email you at Skippy at I am Skippy?
Off air, I'll get you all my information.
Yeah, I know Ryan seems to be the master of all everybody.
Get all my stuff from Ryan, and we'll connect this week.
Yeah, he can give you my email address. Ryan has it.
Perfect.
So
Skippy, thank you. Ryan, what you plugging, my man?
Oh, check out my exclusive Zoom interview with Sarah J on the Packy, and definitely subscribe to my YouTube channel.
Hell yeah. Mr. Mallets, what's going on with you?
You can check out my movie YouTube channel, The Whirlwind Potato. And and obviously thepacky.com.
Yep. Cool. And guess thepacky.com. Get me on the Wicked Explorers, the Wicked Bricksters, my nerdy Lego YouTube page I get going on because that's what I do with that's what happens when you get married and have a kid. You go in the basement, you play with Legos when everyone goes to bed. So and
then you become an expert on sex and boobs.
And breast milk, yes, and the boob. Yep. And just a disclaimer out there, if you're a young man watching this show, what we've talked about, the breast of this is, take with a grain of salt, and don't go full blown with it when you meet a girl because this could be a problem. And I don't want to be the reason, or any of us want to be the reason that anything goes awry. So,
or if you are dumb enough to go through with it, then do it and then contact us and come on the show and tell us what happened.
Yeah.
That's actually not a bad idea too. So don't take that gamble. Go right ahead. And for other,
this is awesome.
And for all the ladies out there, the 25% of the demographic of ladies who watch the show, I apologize 100%. We don't know what we're talking about. We're just making assumptions, and we don't mean to offend you. We're not here to degrade I mean, I wish I could produce milk because I wouldn't have a situation when I open the fridge and I wouldn't have milk for my cereal. So,
sorry, Priscilla.
I almost feel bad for having stopped us, though. Like, it almost would have been so much funnier if we had kept going with our crazy thoughts of just going on and on about the topic without having anyone stopped in and said, like, wait, you guys, are you still really I don't know. Just
I was waiting.
How long could we have gone giving advice on what we know about women with none of us being women?
Yeah. I was waiting for my wife
maybe
to
an hour
door and be like, you probably should stop.
I'm waiting for Priscilla to text me, like, what the hell are you guys? My friend Priscilla in California who listens in Skippy occasionally, but I guess she's not today, but
I'm sure she'll catch the rerun. All right, guys. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure having you, Skippy. We'll talk to you soon. And Ryan, Adam, we'll see you guys next week. Later, guys.
Guys, follow my new Twitter page, Dr. Memory Glands.
What was it? Say it again.
Dr. Memory Glands.
Dr. Memory Glands. Awesome. All right, Skippy, I'll be in touch with you soon. And
see you guys
Later.